Tuesday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, and Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Do business with someone you know, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. CWS field is set, and it's basically a battle of current SEC against future SEC. There are four teams from the SEC that made the College World Series, all four from the SEC West. Texas and Oklahoma, of course, which are future SEC members, have also made the field, and Stanford and Notre Dame. So, yeah, it's kind of incredible that four teams from the SEC have made the field. Tennessee was the best team in the country all year, didn't make it. And then last year's national champion and last year's runner-up, Mississippi State and Vanderbilt, are not in that number. SEC, there is no argument. It is the best league in college baseball. The SEC West is the best division in college baseball, similar to college football. And there really is no argument anywhere to be had. So the field is set for the College World Series, and how about the Warriors? They win Game 5 of the NBA Finals, 104-94. Former number one pick Andrew Wiggins had a big night. Steph Curry 0 for 9 from 3, and still the Warriors won on their home floor. So Golden State a win away from reclaiming their crown atop the NBA. Series will shift back to Boston for Game 6 on Thursday, and then, if necessary, Game 7 would be at Golden State. So, all right, let's fire away, see what y'all got. No more LSU baseball transfer portal news yesterday. And football team is working out, getting it rolling. So Saints begin mandatory minicamp today. So we should be getting updates from the Saints practice field. And they are expecting full attendance. So some guys won't obviously be able to practice, as we expect. Michael Thomas won't practice. Taysom Hill, remember, with the foot surgery, won't practice. But we expect full attendance at minicamp today. So, all right, y'all, fire away if you got questions, comments, concerns, as Dale Weiner would say. Questions, comments, concerns, life-threatening illnesses. Fire away with whatever you got. Joey Vincent, Trivia Carter, Rap in Batches, Greg Self, George Reitmeyer, Cliff Nelson, good morning, Scone. Boston wins the next two. You heard it here first. Cliff, God bless you, man. I mean, I know you're a Boston fan. I know that jabs you. But, yeah, no, Golden State's going to win the series. I picked the Warriors at the beginning of the series with very, very little confidence. I would not have been surprised at all had Boston won the series. I do not think Boston will win the next two. You just can't count. I think what's more likely is that Golden State goes and wins Game 6 in Boston. You can't count on Steph Curry to have another night like he did last night. And even still with that, they won by 10. So, I mean, gave up a 16-point lead, took a big shot from Boston, and still came back and won it. So, Boston's good, man. But Tatum has disappeared in these finals. I think back to when Kawhi was got traded to Toronto. And they won the title, and he was MVP. That's when he really solidified himself as one of the top players in the game, and because he did it on that stage, emerged, and we're like, oh, okay, that validates everything we thought. Felt like that's kind of similar opportunity for Tatum here, and he really hadn't taken advantage. Got two more games to see if he can do it. Truax, what's up, man? Michael Cook, good morning. Gerald Mathern, Kyle Gayu. CWS is a mini SEC West tournament. Yeah, back to the comments. So if you missed AFR yesterday, and we talked about Tennessee a good bit, not a good bit, we talk about it, and if they're good for the game. And my contention was Tennessee's not good for the game. They didn't bring new people to the sport. They were just polarizing for the people that were already here. Like, Tiger Woods brought new people to golf. Danica Patrick brought new people to NASCAR. Brock Lesnar brought new people to the UFC. Tennessee didn't bring any new college baseball fans. They were just a lightning rod for the people that already love the sport. They, yeah, they didn't want anything. You know what I mean? Like the New England Patriots dynasty was interesting, and when Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl, casual people will watch. Um, Nobody new came to college baseball this year to watch Tennessee. Uh, the point with that is, you know, Georgia Southern hosting, Virginia Tech hosting a super regional, Maryland hosting. You know, those programs and their fans getting to taste college baseball postseason like that, that's how you set an emotional hook. You know, Virginia Tech winning the first game against Oklahoma and dropping the next two, you know, or maybe they won the first, lost the first one, whatever. How, you know, but Virginia Tech being a win away from Omaha and not being able to get it done, that like sets an emotional hook with their fan base, right? Like that's a big deal for college baseball. Not Tennessee flipping the bird at people. Anyway. So to your point about the SEC West tournament, I don't know if that's good for college baseball. Just like in college football, when one region of the country, the Southeast, dominates college football, it doesn't help grow and expand college football. It just reinforces the Southeast stranglehold on sport. Kind of college baseball right now. Let's see. Brian Pinton, good morning. Brant Roban, good morning. Let's see. Hypothetically, do you think LSU had hosted Supers? We could have won that matchup. Against Ole Miss, boy, they looked really good, didn't they? And I'll think, I'll say the biggest thing about Ole Miss too. So no, I would have picked Ole Miss. Dylan DeLucia, when they moved him from the bullpen, that was a huge part of Ole Miss hitting their stride. And Hunter Elliott, the freshman lefty, when they finally moved him out of the midweek role and into the rotation, that solidified them with a 1-2 punch. And Mike Bianco has a reputation for making his players, his pitchers, earn it. They got to prove it to earn it. But ultimately, he got into a situation where when they went from number one in the country to unranked, and there was serious question about his job status, he kind of just shrugged his shoulders and was like, all right, run him out there. He didn't have another option. He had to make changes. Did, and it worked. It's worked. So no, I don't think LSU would have beaten Ole Miss. Brian Wynn, good morning from the Grand Canyon. All right, Brian Wynn. Ryan Amanda Guidry, Kelly Groves, Newt Douglas, softball, baseball, football, basketball is going to be nasty once Texas and Oklahoma join. Nastier, yeah. I mean, gymnastics. I mean, Oklahoma's won gymnastics titles. Texas, I think, just won tennis. College gymnastics, yeah. Justin Wells, fun fact, LSU was 2-10 against SEC teams in Omaha, 15-3 against everyone else. That will change next season. Yeah, I don't think that's a fun fact, Justin, but I think that does, describe your season. But how about this, to tell you, like, what sometimes what you think going into a season. If I told you coming into the season that LSU was going to sweep Mississippi State and Vanderbilt on the road and lose home series to A&M and Auburn, I don't think many of us would have had any type of money on that scenario, because A&M and Auburn were not supposed to be good this year, and Mississippi State and Vanderbilt were the national champion and national runner-up respectively last year. And LSU should have played both those series on the road. So bizarre, man. Baseball is a bizarro world, but Jim Schlossnagle did a really good job with A&M this year, and A&M's got NIL money rolling as well. I mean, every Texas A&M baseball player, if you're the first guy on the roster, the 40th guy on the roster this year, every A&M baseball player got $13,000 in NIL money. I mean, every single one. So, that's a big way of how they were able to rebuild their roster real quickly and get back to this point. So, got to pay to play, man. Warren Falk, looks like you hurt some Tennessee feelings. I don't care. Here's the problem, Warren. When when literally everyone looks at you and thinks that you're an a-hole, you're an a-hole, whether you want to acknowledge it or not. Like, and I wouldn't tell like a Tennessee fan, hey, don't support your team. Of course you're going to support your team. They're really good. They won. I mean, they're a-holes, but they're your a-holes. It's kind of like your crazy uncle. It's like, you can talk about your crazy uncle, but if someone else talks about your crazy uncle, it's like, hey, that's my uncle, right? So I get it. I get where the Tennessee fans are coming from. But, and I'm not saying don't support your team, but you got to acknowledge what they are. Like, you have to, like, you can't defend their actions and be taken seriously. Like, you can't defend a player flipping the bird round in first base. You can't defend, F-bombing an umpire routinely. You can't defend your coach getting suspended for chest bumping an umpire. You can't defend, the ludicrous bat flips. Tony Vitello throwing a bat back in Auburn's dugout because they bat flip on you. Like, you just can't defend all of that and be taken seriously. So, Casey Smith, buy the dip. I did last night. Oh, I hammered that dip last night. I was talking about Bitcoin. I told you yesterday, Casey, when it was about 25K, I was like, I think it's getting closer to 20. Hit 20,000 last night. You better believe I hammered that dip last night. Oh, yes. Yes, sir. Where are we? Warren Falk. Let's see, Brent Roban. Not a dang peep of smat talk from my coworkers up here in Knoxville, like there was last week. They were all being smart butts, asking when LSU starts their super shut-up. Hey, man, LSU doesn't have any room to talk or flex on Tennessee. But my point isn't about LSU. My point is about Tennessee. Thomas Bergeron, Hayden Presley, what's going on? Who do you like to win it all in Omaha? You know what's interesting, Hayden? The three best teams all year by a mile were Tennessee, Oregon State, and Stanford. And Tennessee and Oregon State are out. So Stanford, I think, is the best team remaining. But sometimes it's not even who's the best team, it's who's the hottest team. And I think Notre Dame's got to be playing with a ton of confidence after going to Tennessee and winning the way they did. And Ole Miss, I think Arkansas, I don't know that Arkansas has the pitching to make it through Omaha. I'd probably say the same about Auburn. Texas is interesting because when Texas was healthy early in the year, like when LSU played them, they were number one team in the country. Now, Tennessee had a better season, obviously, but Texas had some injuries, which really, really dinged them. If they hit their stride, they could be really dangerous. Same for Oklahoma, I would say. But I if I had to pick, I would. I'm gonna look at the bracket real quick. I'll try to pick a championship series. Hang on. Look at the bracket. See if I can pick a championship series. Look at that. That's cool.
We love our new apartment. There's too much pressure in the bathroom.
Ugh.
Good luck.
Stupid pop-up ads. So all right, give me I'll take Notre Dame against Stanford. How about that? I'll take Notre Dame against Stanford in the championship series. And give me Stanford to win it. All right, shout out to Brock, y'all. brortho.com, brortho.com. Brock Rock and Wine is coming up on August the 6th, so get your tickets. It's in Tiger Stadium at the South Stadium Club. brortho.com, of course, Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Spurge, what's going on? Merrick Mathern, Matt Lusto had a good hunch on further dippage. We got full moon May, have a bottom soon. It was a pretty good hunch, wasn't it, Matt? Did hammer it yesterday. Jesse Post, let's go. Or last night. I mean, I was in my bed last night, like, let's go. Jesse Post. Let's see. I think it's pretty cool for the 8 teams from the SEC West. LSU winning 17 games is pretty darn good. Tim Gautreau, Brody Dupree, Matt, curious, what's the chance Jason Kelly takes the Washington job? We get a very prominent pitching coach that we just faced. I'll tell you this, Brody. I would. Someone asked me this on Scone and T last week. Someone asked if there would be any staff turnover, and I want to say I said yes. I thought that there would be staff turnover for baseball this year, but I want to be clear. I'm not saying anybody gets fired or purged or anything like that. Jay Johnson hired a really talented staff. Even though a lot of us weren't familiar with him, Jason Kelly had been, the Pac-12 Pitching Coach of the Year. Dan Fitzgerald had done great work at Dallas Baptist. Like, he hired a staff of really good coaches that are young, that are going to elevate in their career, right? They're going to get head coaching opportunities. So it would not surprise me at all if Jason Kelly got a head coaching job this year. Not in the least. I don't know if it would be Washington, but it would not surprise me at all if he got that gig. And I will tell you flatly that yes, if Jason Kelly is hired to be a head coach somewhere and LSU is looking for a coach, a pitching coach, they would absolutely go to Hattiesburg and try to hire Ostrander. That much I don't know that he would leave. I don't know why I wouldn't, but that of that much I am certain that they would make that call. I'm certain of that. I know because I asked. Let's see. Wrap in batches. Now, if we can only get the LSU students to stop yelling F-bombs and the neck chant every basketball, football game. I agree with you, wrap in batches. That's a great point. To my point. So it's not just me dumping on Tennessee, because I dump on LSU fans when they do that as well. They clean it up, bro. Ronnie Duga, Jeremy Nusslock. Got it. Thank you. Nusslock is a village in Germany, kind of like the Loch Ness Monster. No? Probably not. NM Personal Training. How are you? I'm in the UK, just getting into basketball. Okay. Thanks for watching. Basketball is great. NBA Finals going on right now. Bengal Tiger, Tennessee, best team ever. I love it. What a-holes topped off with the bat slams and arrogant head coach puffing his chest during in-game interviews. Enjoy the humble pie balls. A lot of people are celebrating their demise. Strong side, what's good, man? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Whoops. Hayden Presley, Thomas Bergeron. Let's see, who do you like to? Oh, did that one. Brant, will LSU ever compete with the Texas schools and other SEC programs with NIL money? Brant, if you're talking about, like, will LSU ever spend the most in NIL? No. They just don't have the resources to spend what Texas A&M and Texas can spend, what Alabama, Georgia, Florida can spend. They just don't have the resources to spend. It's not to say LSU doesn't have money or boosters with money. They'll just never spend at that level. And the reason, I've explained this before, but I'll do it again for those that aren't familiar. But the reason why I believe LSU will still remain competitive is because of your dirt. What I mean by that is Walker Howard was a 5-star quarterback in this year's class. His dad was an LSU legacy. Or he's an LSU legacy. His dad played here, and Walker Howard wanted to play at LSU. Will Campbell's from Monroe, went to Neville, 5-star offensive lineman, might be starting as a freshman. Just wanted to play at LSU. NIL or not. You know what I mean? So, and that's not to say other schools won't have their, kids who grew up cheering for them that have an allegiance. But in Louisiana, you're talking about a talent-rich state where LSU is the only Power 5. And the only other schools that have that kind of advantage are Ohio State. Again, we're talking about in a talent-rich state, okay? I'm not talking about like, well, Hawaii. Well, they're not even a Power 5. But anyway, even like Iowa and Iowa State, 2 Power 5 schools, in a not talent-rich state. Fired up. Tommy from Shoots Electric. So we're getting our whole home generator installed today. Really excited about that. If you're not familiar, Shoots Electric, great company. They've done, they've been like an industrial leader in town forever. So I mean, every commercial business knows them, but they do have a whole home generator or standby generator division. And last year after Ida, I don't know if, so shoot, long story short, long story long, Erica's forever been wanting to get a standby generator because whenever, when power goes out, we lose power here a lot. When power goes out, we have to pack up and leave because Drew has medicines that need to stay cold. And, if he were to have an incident, his oxygen concentrator needs power to plug in. There's just a lot of stuff that he requires when he need power. And we put it off. Finally decided to go ahead and pull the trigger and have a standby generator installed. So Shoots Electric's doing it. The only way last year after Ida, we decided, okay, that was it. After Ida, we decided that's it, we're doing it. Well, it was very difficult to get generators. They were like on 6-month back order. Well, John Shoots at Shoots Electric ordered a ton of them then, so he has inventory now on hand. So instead of just instead of like you making a purchase order now and then they have to order from the manufacturer, like they have the inventory already, so they can get to you quickly. So Shoots Electric, awesome people. Their customer service has been magnificent. Their all their installers are all in-house, so they don't subcontract it out. Like the guy just called me, Tommy from Shoots Electric. Like they physically do the work. So could not be more pleased with them. We'll let you know how it goes. They're a CESofLA.com. CESofLA.com. All right, y'all. Let's see. Oh, it's 7:54. I got to get going. Brian Wynn, Matt, with those wins, Tennessee should get at least a participation trophy. Lowell Cormier, what's good? Jason Horn, Bill Schmid. Ray Wright, what's good, man? Watching some Tabrock highlights. Deceptive delivery. Emotional competitor, could be really good. Love it. Do you think Notre Dame baseball coach Link Jarrett heads to Florida State after the CWS? I do. He's at least going to have to tell him no. Glenn Thomas, do you think Butte follows Chase route, sits an entire year? I do not think he plays. Tyler Coleman, God, the vol melt is still glorious. Hey, Dad, good morning. All right, y'all, think we're just about done. I got to roll. Yeah, Peter, thank you for the heads up there. Dave Van Der, Shoots hooked his up. But it's CHUSTZ. The website is CESofLA.com if you're interested. CES, as in Shoots Electrical Services. CESofLA.com. Peter Fennerk, be sure to get a UPS for your modem router so you don't drop internet during the transfer time. Good looking out, Peter. I've actually been thinking about that because if I have to be here, because I do have to be here, I'll probably do some work from home. I don't want my power. Good looking out. Bengal Tiger, I've had a whole home generator for many years. One of the best purchases ever made. You won't regret it. Peace of mind is invaluable, no doubt. And our neighbor has one, so every time when a storm happens and we lose power and I hear this kick on, I'm like, I need to do that. So we're finally doing it. Today's the day. Michael Tolliver, the CWS give me 90s vibes, half the field being SEC teams. That's not just 90 vibes, man. That's forever vibes. I mean, the league has dominated the sport. All right, y'all, I got to bounce. Y'all have a great day. Got to get Drew over to St. Lillian for camp. We'll see y'all for LSU Daily and AFR3. Peace.